What's up everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to be discussing something that's very close to my heart, and that is language learning, specifically how to find a language exchange partner online. So first of all, what is a language exchange partner? Well, basically it's someone that you practice conversation with, or maybe you can just write them or message them, but specifically like for me, I think the best way is to have like calls or video calls. And yeah, I think this is like the best way, hands down, to learn and practice a language, because you know you can study from a textbook all day long, but at the end of the day, if you don't practice speaking, then you're never gonna become truly fluent or really know a language. Another reason why I love doing exchanges is because it is completely free. You don't have to pay anything, so it's really good if you're young, maybe you're a student and you don't have a lot of money to spend on taking lessons. I think it is definitely the best way, especially if you are a native English speaker as well. Like, it's super easy to find conversation partners pretty much for any language, because English is very in demand. So in terms of starting out, I would recommend to have at least a basic understanding of your target language. So for example, if you're learning Spanish, you should be able to understand basic Spanish and be able to form sentences, just because if you don't know anything at all, it's kind of unfair for the other person, since they're basically having to teach you from scratch. Maybe if you're very patient and you're willing to also teach beginners, then I think you could do a language exchange as a beginner, but I would recommend having at least like an intermediate to advanced level before you do conversation exchanges. So in terms of how to find a language exchange partner, the way that I did it initially was through Facebook. So on Facebook, there are a lot of pages like for language learning. I specifically used Shut Up and Go, which is from some YouTubers called Damon and Joe. I'm not actually sure if the page is still on anymore because there's some like beef going on between them. But yeah, I literally just posted like, hey, my name's Catherine, I'm in New Zealand, I'm looking for a language exchange partner to learn Italian, and I can help you with English. And yeah, basically some people just commented on the post, and then I just messaged them and we kind of just arranged to do it. So the format that I like to do is 1 hour sessions every week. So that's 30 minutes in English and then 30 minutes in Spanish or Italian or French or whatever language that you're looking to learn. And for the platform, initially I used Zoom and I found it to be pretty good, but recently I've been using Skype more often, and I actually prefer Skype because you can retain the chat for the conversations. Because for example with Zoom, after your video call has ended, then the chat disappears and you don't have like those corrections or those sentences or whatever the person has written you. Whereas with Skype, even after the video call is ended, you can still have that chat, so you can refer back to it after your conversation is finished. Apart from Facebook, one website that I found really helpful is italki. So if you didn't already know, I'm actually a tutor on italki as well. So I do tutor English, but I think it's a great platform to find people that are into learning languages as well, because there's a big community on there. So there's a community section where you can post like, hey, I'm looking to do a language exchange, and people can comment. So I found people through that. And also one technique that I've used as well is just to message tutors directly and contact them saying that, hey, like, I'm looking for a language exchange, I'm not looking for lessons, would you be interested? And honestly, like, a lot of the time they do say yes. Now I do recognize that as a tutor myself, probably it's easier for me to find people, obviously, when I already have a profile and they can check me out and they can like see that I'm not trying to scam or do anything dodgy. But I do think this could still work as well, even if you're not a tutor on italki, because a lot of tutors, especially community tutors on italki, are genuinely interested in learning languages. So if you can help them, then they'll be more than happy to do a language exchange with you. Another way to do it, if you're finding that you're not getting a lot of people or you don't feel very comfortable, is you can just book a lesson on italki, and then through that you can start to meet new people. And if you find that the vibe is good and you get along with the person, then just message them after the lesson saying, hey, like, I enjoyed this lesson, but I'm looking for a language exchange partner, would you be interested? And that's something that's worked well for me also. In terms of some do's and don'ts, I would say it's really important that you are taking into account the time zones. So for me, I live in New Zealand and there's a pretty big time difference with other countries. So yeah, it's always helpful to be straight up with the person and say, this is where I live, this is my time zone, and these are the times that I'm available. And also it's good to take the initiative as well and suggest some time straight off the bat, because then the person can, you know, come back to you and say, hey, this works for me or this doesn't work for me, rather than just asking someone like, what times are you free, because the times that they give you might not even work for you. Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest parts, is just organizing time. But I think once you have organized the time, then it's nice to have a consistent schedule. So if you have a consistent schedule every week, then you don't have to worry about organizing a new time. Now, obviously, if you are more busy or you have an inconsistent schedule, like you have to work shifts, then you can organize conversations, you know, more closer to the day and maybe more like on an ad hoc basis, just, you know, messaging them, be like, hey, are you free on this day? Or whatever. Kind of depends on who your conversation partner is and what your schedules look like. If you've never like talked to strangers online before, it can seem quite daunting. So one thing I would suggest for like females as well is, don't feel comfortable, then it's completely fine just to like look for other females or look for people that are your age, because you're probably going to have more in common. Also, like if you don't want to do video calls, that's fine as well. I would say like a good amount of my language exchange partners, we only do voice calls, and that's completely fine. It's a very chill vibe, so you don't have to worry about, you know, your parents or people judging you or anything like that. So in terms of all the downsides, I would say honestly it's been pretty good. Occasionally there's been people that, you know, don't turn up, and that's been very annoying. So I would say definitely prioritize reliability over like someone that, you know, has exactly the same interests or has exactly the accent that you're looking for. I think the most important thing when it comes to a language exchange partner is the fact that they are reliable and they show up, because even if someone's accent is difficult to understand or you don't particularly have a lot in common, I feel like you can still make conversation and you can still help each other out. But if the person is, you know, not reliable and they're not showing up, then that's going to be more annoying in the long run. Lastly, I just want to say, don't be discouraged if it takes you a while to find a language partner or someone that you vibe with. It's definitely, you know, not easy, but it's really worth it in the end. So don't be afraid to take some more time. And if someone isn't vibing or someone's giving you like creepy vibes, definitely don't feel like obligated to speak with them. You know, if you don't want to, then just say like, hey, you know, I don't think this is working, or maybe I'm busy and I can't speak to you anymore, and that's completely fine. Also, obviously it's very important that you all are being safe and you don't want to do anything too dodgy. Like, don't be giving out your address, don't be giving out personal details to random people, you know, the first time that you speak. I feel like this is common sense, but I do just want to say this. And yeah, that's kind of it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Good luck for all of you out there. If you are a native Spanish speaker, Italian speaker, or French speaker, and you are looking for a language exchange partner, feel free to hit me up, because I'm always keen to practice my languages and help people with English as well. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Ciao.